The term, the kingdom of heaven, is famous in Christianity since it is used by Yeshua throughout his ministry. From exhorting people to become little children in order to enter it, comparing it to a treasure hidden in a field or a mustard seed, to even talking about how the halakhic rules would be within the kingdom. What many people do not know is that this term, Malchut haShamaim, the kingdom of heaven, and the term Malchut Elohim, the kingdom of God, sometimes Malchut Shaddai, were terms widely used in the Jewish temporal context in which Yeshua lived. The Roman Empire had complete sovereignty over the land of Israel and economically oppressed the people through tribute, taxes, to the emperor. Dissident Jews who decided to refuse or even question those authoritarian imperialist regulations were crushed by the Roman military arm, and their bodies were displayed on crucifixes as an example for others, so that everyone would think twice before rebelling or questioning their authority. The Zealots were a dissident group mentioned in the New Testament who fought against the Roman authorities, hoping to regain Jewish autonomy, just as the Maccabees fought against the Greeks a couple of centuries before. A thought rooted in biblical doctrine became popular during that time, just as there are kingdoms and empires in this world which are born, expand, and ultimately pass away. There is also, in contrast, a kingdom that is eternal, the kingdom of God. A very clear picture of this appears in the interpretation of King Nebuchadnezzar's dream given by Daniel in the 2nd chapter of his book. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, and this kingdom will not be left to another people. It will crush all these kingdoms and bring them to an end, but will itself endure forever. In the book of Exodus, Moses exclaimed after the Almighty parted the sea and saved the people of Israel from the Egyptians, "Yehovah will reign eternally and forever." In the 4th chapter of Matthew, we are told how Yeshua traveled throughout Galilee proclaiming the good news of the kingdom. Another popular terminology in the Judaism of Yeshua's time was to put oneself under the yoke of the kingdom of God or of heaven. This concept could be compared to that of conversion, teshuvah in Hebrew. A person who put himself under that yoke, in contrast to the yokes of this world, was considered a righteous person, a tzaddik. Through these righteous men and women, the kingdom of God was manifested on earth. The ultimate ideal goal of creation would be a kingdom at the end of days where all people would have that consciousness, and evil would be extinct. Yeshua, as an ambassador of the kingdom, explained to the Pharisees that they should not search the heavens for what was among them. Asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of God was to come, he answered them, saying, "The kingdom of God will not come with warning, nor will they say, 'Here it is,' or 'There it is,' because the kingdom of God is within you." Yeshua teaches us about a spiritual reality when everyone is thinking about the physical reality, and an eternal reality when everyone is focused on the temporal. When we look forward to a kingdom that exists only in the future, we are not talking about an eternal kingdom. The concept of eternity implies omnipresence in the past, present, and future. Do you remember the meaning of the name Yod-He Vav-He? It is exactly the same. In conclusion, a strong contrast existed in 1st century Judaism between the kingdoms of the world and the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God was for many a promise and hope for the future. When Yeshua came, teaching extensively about this kingdom that the people longed for so much. He showed the way to live in that kingdom in the present time, since that kingdom, being eternal, exists at this very moment. The way to bring it into this world is by honoring our Creator and putting ourselves under His yoke. Thus, we will become righteous people and expand His kingdom throughout the earth.